Let's get more now on the Aston by-election result and analysis with Samaras. He's director of the consultancy and strategy firm RedBridge Group and former advisor to Labor and Labor governments. Cos, thanks for your time. What do you put that extraordinary result down to on Saturday?
A number of factors, which is a continuation of a trend we're seeing right across the country in our large capital cities, and that is the coalition vote has been on the decline for some time. And in Melbourne, what we saw on the weekend was a continuation of that. Basically, the coalition has an increasing problem with people under the age of 40. I know there's terms that have been used around that this is due to Albanese's honeymoon. It's actually really a divorce that the coalition has with people under the age of 40.
Are there any further implications here when it comes to the referendum on the voice that you can see at this early stage?
Yeah, I noticed in your previous segment that there was a view expressed that the coalition room will effectively advocate for a no. That will be catastrophic for them. I mean, they're left with 14 seats in our capital cities across the country out of 79. These are urban seats that don't have any rural component to them. And if they are seen to be playing around with this particular issue by particularly those under the age of 40, that situation's only going to get worse. So I think it's actually political suicide.
What do you say to the argument that this is cyclical and that now is the time for the Labor Party ascendancy, but things will come around as they have before?
Yeah, look, we know that with people under the age of 40, millennials and Generation Z, they're not getting more conservative as they're getting older. It is a break from the norm, so to speak, where Gen X and Boomers and older Australians over their lifespan, there is a proportion of them that go from voting for the Labor Party and then switching over to the Liberal Party as they get older. This is not happening with people under the age of 40. So we know that as more and more of them jump on the voters roll, and as baby boomers and older Australians pass away, this situation's only going to get worse unless the Liberal Party find a way to talk to them. And we can find these particular voters, we can find them in very big numbers, obviously in our capital cities, and it's no accident that they're left with 14 seats because the millennials and Generation Z now make up close to about 40% of the voters right across the country in our large cities.
The map in Melbourne is stark when you look at the sea of red now, in relation to the seats held by Labor, coupled by the Teals. And on the fringe, the outskirts, you can see just two there in urban Melbourne, that being Menzies and Deakin, Cos.
That's right. And again, it's a product of, in areas where there are high numbers of, the voters that I just talked about, but even diverse communities. So diversity, highly educated millennials, a workforce that now is predominantly female and works in health services and other public sector industries as well. Those groups of voters are not good for the coalition right now, and we find them in significant numbers in our large urban settings, and in particular in a city like Melbourne. So it's that map that we've just displayed is a product of that, and the product of the coalition unable to actually hold on to these electorates because of the changing demographics that are rapid.
Samaras from RedBridge Group, thanks for your time and your analysis. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kieran.